Hey there, Ted Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies, and today's video is about reaching out to hubs and how sometimes we can feel very small or inadequate, or who am I to be reaching out to this hub. So this is a question, a concern, a quandary that has come up from a number of my clients over the last little while, is that feeling of, yeah, who am I? Oh my God, I'm so small. They're this big hub. Why would they have any interest in promoting me? You know, I should just stay home and not even try. So there's a few thoughts about this. First of all, you don't have to jump right to the big boss. You know, you don't have to jump right to the biggest hubs. You can and probably should start with smaller hubs. You know, people who are just a few steps ahead of you, a few more connections, and you build from there. So that's the first thing. This thought that you know, God, who am I to reach out to Oprah? Good question. It's probably a bit of a leap to go from zero to Oprah. Nopra to Oprah. Yeah. So that's the first thing. Second thing is assuming there's not too huge a gap. I mean, yeah, if you're a complete nobody and they're world famous, it's too large a chasm to cross probably. But assuming the gap isn't too big, then it's important to remember what they get out of it. Because I think people think about it like, oh, it's just, there's something in it for me. I mean, I get the exposure, but what do they get? Well, let's think about it. What do they get? They get to be a hookup for their people for really good things. Now, not all hubs do this. Not all hubs do joint ventures, affiliates, stuff. They just share their stuff. They don't even talk about any colleagues. Yeah, that's a real thing. But some do. And if they refer somebody to their people and that person is really helpful to their people, they get points. You know, they get social credit for this. They get gratitude from their people. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing in that person, interviewing that person. That was really wonderful. They get to be seen as a hookup of good things, which is what they want. You know, all hubs want to be seen as a hookup of good things. Now, often, again, that's just their own stuff, but some like to expand and offer other people. You know, think of it if you had a podcast and you're interviewing people. That's your style. Every podcast you interview somebody different. Well, do you think you want to interview somebody terrible? No. Do you want to interview somebody who everyone else has interviewed a million times? Maybe as part of it. But you also might really enjoy finding a hidden gem that nobody knows about yet. The kind of hipster approach, you know, where they can say, hey, I've got this next guest. You probably never heard of them. I just discovered them. They do amazing work. People like to be the one that finds and discovers the new thing. Because then if they have a podcast, people tuning into the podcast like, wow, maybe I'll learn something new. It's, again, some podcasters only have their own content. Some of them interview people, but only the ones that everyone knows. Play it real safe. Some it's only people you never heard of, and some it's in between. But that is a benefit to them. That's got to be said. To discover the new thing. And this is why the niching and the point of view is so important. Because, you know, if they said, okay, we're going to talk to somebody about how to gain muscle, and, you know, and your pitch is like, yeah, you should interview me about that. I talk about that too. They say, great, well, what's your take on how to build muscle? Well, you gotta exercise, gotta eat good food. Yeah, see what I'm saying? There's nothing compelling about that. But let's say you said, oh, the way to gain muscle is you work out once every 6 weeks extremely intensely. And then you rest and just stretch the rest of the time. What? Does that work? Oh yeah, we get really good results. That's very compelling. So if you have a unique take on it, this is more likely that they're going to want to bring you in. And of course, if you know, for you to come in as a guest, that's work they don't have to do. They don't have to come up with content. They just interview you. You know, what's in it for them? Well, of course, part of what's in it for them has to be contained in the way you approach them. If you approach them in a way where you have nothing prepared, they have to write your bio, They have to figure out every question to ask you for the podcast. They have to figure out what your angle is, pre-interview you to even get a, that's no good. Then write up all the promo material. No. What they want ideally is all of that's pre-done for them. And then maybe at the end you say, hey, yeah, I've got this course you can sign up for, and they get a cut of anyone who signs up for it, for example. So the win could be that they make money from the partnership. That's certainly one. The win could be that they look good to their people for having discovered something new. And of course, with both of those, the win is that it didn't take much of their time or energy to do it. That's a win. If you're really, who am I? First of all, lower your standards a bit of who you're approaching. Stop shooting for the moon. Because often the connections with those much larger hubs, those come from the smaller hubs. So start with where you're at. Just think about, who do I know already who's kind of connected to my people? Build those partnerships. Ask those people for introductions to other hubs. And just keep working your way up like that. And every once in a while you'll be discovered. Every once in a while somebody just find you. Great. But start small. Work your way up from there. With every single hub you talk to, you just ask, hey, who else should I talk to? Who else do you think might want to interview me? Do you have any other ideas? Do you have any colleagues you think this might be a fit for? And voila, there you go. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions or pushback on this, I'd really love to hear it, honestly. So just put it in the comments below, and maybe to turn it into another video. Of course, you can subscribe to me here on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. marketingforhippies.com is my website. Please share this video if you liked it. And don't share it if you loved it, though. It's just be between us. Keep it special. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.